the two primary engines of debt acceleration, the debt avalanche and the debt snowball, take opposing approaches to solving the same problem. Systematically dismantling these liabilities requires choosing a framework that aligns your financial reality with your specific psychological makeup. Regardless of the methodology, both frameworks rest upon the exact same operational foundation. Neither strategy functions without three non-negotiable baselines. The process begins with a comprehensive inventory. This means mapping the entire landscape by listing every debt, with its total payoff balance, its annual percentage rate, and the mandatory minimum monthly payment. The second required baseline is credit defense. Minimum payments must be maintained across every account without exception to keep the strategy viable. Missing a single payment triggers late fees and defaults. This degrades the credit score, which increases the cost of capital, and removes any future options for refinancing. Finally, the individual must locate the accelerated capital margin. This is the economic surplus found through budgeting that sits above the cumulative sum of all minimum payments. This margin is the projectile. The avalanche and snowball are simply different targeting systems used to aim it. Without this margin, structural debt elimination is impossible. The subsequent models only dictate where to deploy the force. The debt avalanche is built on cold mathematical optimization. It views a balance sheet through a single lens of efficiency. Its objective is to minimize interest drag, reducing the total lifetime cost of borrowing to the lowest possible figure. To execute this, liabilities are ranked strictly by their interest rate in descending order. In this ledger, the absolute balance size is ignored for the percentage. The entire pool of accelerated capital is then directed exclusively at the debt with the highest interest rate. This stops the exponential growth of expensive debt. A high APR acts as a negative compounding machine. By killing the highest rate first, you stop the capital bleed immediately. When that debt is fully paid off, its minimum payment and all accelerated capital cascade down into the account with the next highest interest rate. This provides the highest possible return on investment for every dollar deployed and represents the mathematically shortest path to zero. However, the risk of the avalanche is psychological. If the highest interest debt also carries the largest balance, capital will be locked into that account for months without clearing a single line item. While the strategy treats money with tactical precision, the lack of visible progress can lead to fatigue, causing the plan to be abandoned. The debt snowball rejects pure mathematical efficiency in favor of psychological momentum. Here, liabilities are ranked strictly by the remaining balance in ascending order, from the smallest dollar amount to the largest. Interest rates are ignored. The entire pool of accelerated capital is directed exclusively at the account with the smallest balance. This method reduces cognitive load. Targeting the smallest balance eliminates obligations quickly. Wiping an account to zero provides immediate visible progress. As debts disappear, their minimum payments merge with your accelerated capital, hitting the next smallest balance with even greater force. The cost of this momentum is the interest penalty. By letting higher interest debts sit while targeting smaller, low-interest balances, the total interest paid over time will be higher. The snowball model treats the operator as a human motivated by progress, buying psychological stamina at the price of higher aggregate interest. Consider an individual with a $9,000 credit card at 26%, an $11,000 loan, and a $1,200 medical bill, plus $500 extra monthly. In the left avalanche framework, that extra capital repeatedly strikes the highest interest credit card. It takes 11 months of aggressive payments before this operator sees the first account hit zero. In the snowball framework on the right, the margin hits the medical bill first. In less than 60 days, the bill is gone. One debt is entirely eliminated from their life, even though it was the least expensive. The choice depends on whether the priority is the long-term optimization of the balance sheet or the immediate psychological fuel required to stick to the plan. Is there a framework that satisfies both the mathematical logic of the spreadsheet and the behavioral needs of the individual? A third option exists, the hybrid strategy. This framework establishes a strict threshold to separate liabilities into two distinct phases. Step 1 involves isolating nuisance debts. These are microbalances that can be entirely wiped out in under 90 days, such as small medical bills or minor store cards. The snowball protocol is used exclusively for these items to clear the mental deck and establish early momentum. Once those minor accounts are gone and cash flow is freed up, the strategy pivots. The remaining larger liabilities are moved into a strict avalanche framework. These balances are then attacked by descending interest rate to minimize long-term interest bleed. The hybrid strategy acts as an engineered transition, prioritizing psychological wins in the short term to enable optimized efficiency in the long term. Ultimately, in the architecture of debt elimination, there is no single universally correct system. Analytical thinkers, driven by logic, may find the avalanche most effective, while those feeling overwhelmed by the volume of obligations may require the snowball to remain consistent. The efficiency of a plan on paper matters far less than the likelihood of completing it. The ultimate objective is choosing the strategy that results in consistent, unbroken execution until the net debt is zero.